have seen in the DRDO, there are several ups and downs. In spite of that, some of the ups are, like for instance, it has taken quite some time, but still, Rustum 2 had the maiden flight. In addition to that, there are several other products in various areas, including the missile side. We have done a good job. In terms of revenue, we estimated that our revenue has gone up about 2.7 lakh crores over a period of nearly about 10 years, out of which last 1 year alone we could generate about 1.1 lakh crores, basically from the design development of the DRDO technologies. So likewise, you can imagine in the case of LCA and as well as in the case of AWNC itself, there are several private industries are involved apart from the private sectors. You also know that there is a new fund that we have created called Technology Development Fund, which in the portal you can see it, where we are encouraging the private personnel to come to design certain things. It's not only for the just to manufacture, we are trying to now induct or induce our private partners to start designing, so that some of the design we can absorb in a main program or a main project, so that it can be a win-win situation or a joint development. When we talk of a main system of systems, there are several subsystems, several components need to be imported. If those things can be taken over by the private companies, it's a good move. That's the reason Honorable RM has created this fund. And as of now, about 150 to 160 companies have registered themselves, and few proposals have come. And a joint team of the tri-services as well as DRDO will sit together, analyze those proposals, and we will start funding them. This is for the design, that means an R&D work. There is a possibility there could be failure, but still we will be continue to fund that. There are means work out how in the case of failure, how to recover, or how to probably write off. Even those things are also written, and we are proceeding. With this new introduction, I would like to request you to ask your questions.
I have just two questions. One is related to the advanced medium combat aircraft. Yeah, where's the mic?
Hello. Yeah. So the first question relates to the advanced medium combat aircraft program. Like we've seen in reply to a parliamentary question, DRDO has said that it's a lead-in project at the moment, right? When do you expect this to move beyond that, as in into full-scale engineering development? That's the first question. Second, do we have the manufacturing technologies, do we have at our disposal the manufacturing technologies necessary to produce something that is being posited as a 5th generation combat aircraft, and also for the Ghatak UCAV program? Would we need foreign collaboration for that? Thank you.
As you know that the leading projects are taken to develop the technologies. As of now, we are in that phase, particularly in the case of AMCA. Main thing is stealth. So the complete design is as far as the aerostructure is complete, and unless otherwise engine is also identified, the proceeding with the design itself is in a question mark. So that is why we are trying to finalize on the requirement that is from the Air Force. Once that gets finalized, we'll be trying to go along with either the existing engines, or in case we have to design the engine, we'll look at that. Once that is frozen, we should not take more than say 3 to 4 years for the design completion. And as of now, the existing lead-in project itself is for 3 years, so we have got sufficient work at hand. As regards the question of manufacturing capability, you know very well that the demand and the probably the facilities also comes hand in hand. Unless there is a need, the private companies and others will not be in a position to invest. You may remember a long time back, Dr. Abdul Kalam, when there is a need for huge machineries for missile purpose, even the government of India has invested in, of course in those days in public sector like HAL, we have invested huge amount of machineries. We might be able to look at why not in a GoCo model, that means where the government won't and the company operated. We may even invest on the equipments if it is needed, and followed by that it may be operated by the private companies. HAL themselves are quite capable, and they are approaching a modular way, in the sense subcomponents, subsystems will come from various private companies and they will be the lead integrator. That type of approach is being followed, and as a consequence, even the production rate is expected to be fast. And so I believe, even if it is probably we looked at the foreign collaboration, it may not be only single path. There could be a possibility that we will be, along with the Indian industries, parallelly working to succeed in an indigenous product. In the meantime, the country's need, if it is urgent and a large number of items are needed, there could be a possibility of parallel approach.
Yeah.
Hi, so Leader Matthew, you had talked about a wide body.
Yes, madam, I remember that we met. As of now, we have inducted the first aircraft. We call it as an IOC configuration. This year, by June, we will be giving the second aircraft along with the full and final configuration. And we will still have one more aircraft with us that is meant for DRDO for improving and technology development. However, Air Force has already indicated that they will be very glad to have that. At an appropriate time, we will give. Just in case we need to export, wherever we need to showcase, that also will be making use of it. Coming to the wide-bodied, Government of India has already sanctioned or in principle approval CCS has given for negotiating for the aircraft itself. That work completed as a global tender. As of now, we have identified Airbus 330 as a program, as a platform. The final CCS is getting ready for getting a final nod. Maybe 21st or 22nd we have our DAC. We will go through the DAC, followed by it will go to the CCS.
Of missiles, because there have been a series of tests in the past, and also an update on the interceptor missile, because we got little information from Mr. Manish 2-3 days ago about the interceptor missiles test. Could you please update on that, please, sir?
If you don't mind, can we avoid the strategic systems? Take up on the strategy if you don't mind.
Accepted, sir.
TCR, finally opening doors, and India is now a full-fledged member. If you could tell us the impact of what the MTCR is and will be meaning for our platforms and for our programs. And so secondly, if you can also update, we've seen the Nirbhay missile test, and many a times there has either been no clarity or all sorts of reports have come out. Could you tell us where we are and what are the stumbling blocks, if any? Thank you.
The first one is MTCR as an immediate benefit to us, which the BrahMos, which used to have it only about 290 kilometers, we are going to extend it up to about 450 kilometers. That was possible even earlier because we are under the MTCR restriction, we could not do that. So that's the first fundamental benefit. We are also trying to work on the same BrahMos as a version 2, which can go to about 800-850 kilometers. So these are the two initial benefits of MTCR itself. The next is we have been asked to be the chair of one of the United Nations body, where we will be even looking at what should be the policy for UAVs to carry weapon. As of now, that is not very clearly understood, or it is openly terms of reference is not really brought out. The countries are not taking UAVs. So this is another area where we have been given a berth. As regards the Nirbhay, I'll ask my colleague to talk.
As you very correctly said, cruise missile.
Can't hear.
Development of cruise missile is a new area of work for DRDO. A subsonic cruise missile normally travels anywhere, say about 1,000 kilometers, 2,000 kilometers, or even beyond. And another area of concentration where we need to attend to is they all fly very low. maybe sea skimming or rooftop. That's the type of flights that are expected to happen. These bring in a lot of technological challenges in operation, because if a flight has to take place, a subsonic cruise missile flying for, say for example, more than an hour or two, that puts a lot of demand on the subsystems that are going to be put into this cruise missile. We had one successful flight, 3 unsuccessful flights. Unsuccessful in the sense that not that they went and got themselves ditched. We aborted the mission due to some malfunctions that were taking place, because we normally have a safe zone for flight of the subsonic cruise missiles during the launch. And for any reason, if it is going beyond, there is a system that will abort and destroy the missile in the air. So that's how that other 3 missions it has happened. We have conducted defect investigation committees. We have told how to make the system reliable for very long endurance flights. We have incorporated those suggestions and improvements, and hopefully by May, June we will be having the next flight, which we hope that it will be 100% successful. In the long run, it will be a family of subsonic cruise missiles developed from DRDO, which will have different mission requirements and different requirements.
So this is Manu Pabi from the Economic Times here. So 2 questions. Firstly, sir, on the LCA, there has been quite a lot of buzz at the show. You've done demonstration flights, you have taken people up on the plane, so we believe LCA has turned the lead. So in that context, why is the Indian Defence Ministry planning another single engine line, which is aircraft of a similar capability? And secondly, sir, on exports, can you give us an update on what kind of missile exports are you looking at in the region? Any system that you've identified or any countries that you're in talks with? Thank you.
I'll take the question on the LCA first and subsequently on the missile part. See, the thing is, as you're aware, that the production has commenced for the light combat aircraft, and basically the production has to ramp up significantly to reach the total objective of 123 aircraft that have been cleared now. As you're aware that 40 aircraft are in the first order and 83 aircraft are in the Mark 1A configuration, which is the first version. There is obviously a larger need from the current ramp-up that is being envisaged. And my guess is that that is where they would be looking at an alternative single-engine platform to make good these numbers which the Indian Air Force would certainly require. So, but certainly as the ramp-up takes place even further and the need is there, and you must have read a news item from Mr. Raju also, who made a statement that possibly they can increase even further if there is a need. So I believe that we need to see how it pans out, and then if we are able to meet the requirements of our own, I guess that will be the way to go. So we'll just have to take that call. But I think it's always a good idea to have a kind of a plan B, parallelly moving ahead, rather than start the process when there is some issues. But my guess is that we need to wrap up production, and till that I think we will have to look at it. Because the numbers that the Air Force is looking at are something like 200 plus aircraft.
In the case of, in the Air Force. And also we have started working on Akash NG, new version, new generation. Consequently, we have Akash possibly for export, and we are talking to the country none other than Vietnam. And similar to that, other missiles also being spoken, but unfortunately those countries are not very keen to be discussed, so we will not be able to tell the country's name. One could be probably BrahMos, other one could be probably the Helena as well as ATGMs.
Yeah, Mr. Kaushik.
About MPCR and impact, precisely. You said that now you can enhance the range of BrahMos up to 450 and about 800 kilometers. Have the Russian side agreed for this enhancement of the range?
Who has agreed?
Russian side.
Yes.
And when we will have this extended range of BrahMos?
March 10th is the tentative date.
Okay. And if the MTCR obligations also would be putting a cap on our Agni range?
I don't think.
If you can go beyond 6,000 kilometers?
So that is a different issue. That is depending upon your interest of the neighboring nation where you would like to look at. So we may not do it because we might antagonize somebody else.
So my first question is about the MIRV project. Because much has been said earlier about this project. What stage this project exists today? Because Pakistan has recently tested one Ababil MIRV design. So that we stand today. And secondly, the recent observation by the CNS on the level version of Peter. So what do you have to say, whether this project will continue with the same power and same airframe, or if you are going to change it, how much time it will take?
MIRV are indirectly touching it again strategic. If we can carry one payload, we can carry multiple payload. That's not a problem. So we are on the pipeline, we might do something. As regards the program for LCA Navy is concerned, it is proceeding and Government of India is fully supporting that. As regards the power plant, would you like to add?
So as you're aware, I guess we have to look at this particular statement by the Chief of Naval Staff in a two-part approach. I guess his statement of the aircraft being overweight and therefore would not meet the requirement is intended primarily on the Mark 1, and which we were already aware that this would be a little heavier because we were building this for the first time. There are certain constraints and we were learning the lessons on this. And this was declared as a technology demonstrator, and therefore we would be working in that mode. Lessons learned from that, we would put it into the optimization for a specific naval version of the Mark 2, which would have an enhanced thrust engine, which we've already ordered the 214. And this would certainly meet the requirements of the wake takeoff, both in terms of the ski jump launch. What I think the Government of India has told us to do is that in the future, if you have a catapult launch carrier, which is IAC-2, we first make it compatible initially for a few prototypes for the STOBAR, that is a ski jump takeoff and parachute recovery, with an optimized design intended purely for the naval version. And also, as a parallel technology development, have the catapult launch facility. We've learned the lessons in some sense on the Aristotle, where we have to take the structural loading of the Aristotle from the tail section. The catapult launch envisages the similar load to be taken in the nose section. And so that's the technology that we will be embarking upon, and we will do that. So my guess is that we will have a product, and once the product is available, I think that is where the contingency the Indian Air Force is gone about it, and we should do that. So what we've done is that we are reconfiguring this particular aircraft. The preliminary design is already complete on this program, and we are getting into the phase of detailed design. And the detailed design typically takes about 18 to 20 months for a detailed design activity, after which we do the metal cutting. Now to save time, what we've done is that another very long lead activity which always impinges on time is raw material procurement, because you have to source raw material. So we've already ordered raw material, so that even we know roughly what is the kind of size and things there. So we've already ordered raw material for 4 aircraft sets, so that we can save some time there. And what we envisage currently is by about the end of 2020, we should be able to fly the aircraft in the revised configuration. The Rafale Marine, does not have a folding wing, and that is a wingspan of 10 meters. So, if you are trying to accommodate an aircraft of that class of a Rafale there, so the wingspan is about 8.9 meters. Well within that particular frame. The F-18's folded span would also be within that frame. So, if the carrier is to be built for that class of aircraft, you're already there. This is with the GF414 engine, the higher thrust.